What's good? It's Monday. We're back on a Monday. I'm sorry we weren't here last week. That's on me. I was feeling a little under the weather. I needed to take a break. I'm always doing so many things in so many places on the sports channel, in the Slenderverse. So I needed to take a break. But with what happened yesterday, I was like, dude, we cannot have a day off. We need to talk about this stuff. And we need to talk about it today. Obviously, you guys know what I'm talking about. But there was other games too that happened, not just the Karen freak out that we had all over the place with a certain player from the Kansas City Chiefs. But no, I'm not talking about a fan. I'm talking about an actual player that had a Karen moment. But what's good, real talk? What's good, JT? I know the Giants are coming up soon, and I will not have the mini reactions out, the quick reactions for the Giants. But I will tell you that me and Syl definitely picked the Packers. I'll tell you that much. We both picked the Packers to beat the Giants, unfortunately, for you. And I know that it's in the Dolphins-Titans. So real talk, you're in the chat right now, man. Dolphins-Titans. How much do you think the Dolphins are going to win by? I think that the spread was 13.5. That's what we had. But right now, if you guys haven't assumed already, I am just stalling until our illustrious co-host gets here. But this was a game I want to bring up first. The first game I want to talk about. I want to see what your guys' reactions were on it. I'm going to give you my reactions on it as well. And I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know, honestly, to tell you guys how I feel about it. Because I kept watching the game like, where was this all season? Where was this all season? And it's the Texans versus the Jets. Did anybody expect this score to be the score that it was? Did anybody expect this? Did you? I'm laughing at this right now. Look at these numbers. CJ Stroud. Poor CJ Stroud got injured, but 10 of 23, 91 yards. Those were his numbers. Zach Wilson was 27 to 36, 301 yards, and 2 TDs. Like, was it a Freaky Friday moment? Did they switch bodies? Because that's my only, that's the only way this happens. Devin Singletary gets a touchdown. Their kicker misses the PAT. Like, come on, Texans. What happened? They lost a couple of games and they win one versus the Broncos. Go on the road against the Jets and they have this type of game, and you let Zach Wilson have this type of game. My goodness. And just like it was a Freaky Friday. It was a Freaky Friday whenever I'm starting the show by myself and I don't have a funny quip to bring my co-host in, but I'm just going to slide him right in. Just like Zach Wilson came off the bench, we got sylabdul here. What's good, homie?
Me, Zach Wilson.
No. We got Aaron Rodgers. We got Aaron Rodgers coming in. Look at you wearing Green Bay, right? The Green Bay colors. Oh, Jets colors. The Jets colors.
Hey, the Jets, they're mathematically not out of the race, though likely they're not going to make the playoffs still. But this game was more about the Texans falling apart, like physically. They lost Tank Dell last week. That was their speedy receiver, like Tyreek Hill type guy. And then Nico Collins, their leading receiver of the year, went out with a calf injury. So then CJ Stroud hits his head. So, I mean, it just, you're talking about just falling apart. That's what happened. And likely, losing those players Tank Dell broke his leg, so he's pretty much done.
He's out for the season,
Nico Collins, I'm not sure about his calf, but he went out early, couldn't return. They didn't have no room to kind of, slide back, because we'll talk about the Broncos and Bengals and Bills later. But, they're right in that scrum. And this was a bad loss. This is a terrible loss for the Texans and their chances. And you got the Jags, limping around as well. So it's like, man, this is a missed opportunity. Probably because they were playing so good the first half of the year, where we was like, hey, to see them fall apart like this is, is disappointing. CJ Stroud's MVP bid is pretty much over. And I think I don't think they're going to make the playoffs either with these injuries.
Yeah, unfortunately. And if you go back a couple of weeks on one of our shows that we did, I mentioned that I was worried about the rookie wall coming up, because that always happens with college players who are used to like the off time around Thanksgiving or after Thanksgiving. They have like that week or whatever built in for many, many years, especially after high school. You only go to like November. So I was waiting for it, and it's kind of like it hit like a brick wall, the rookie wall, for all of these players. Not saying that CJ Stroud hit that. Obviously, when you hit your head and you can't, think straight, yeah, it's a little different. But I'm just saying, like,
wall. It's like a turf.
Yeah. This is a snowball effect, though. You know what I'm saying? Like Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. And that's exactly
they were overachieving. I think it's fair. I think it's fair to say, right? They were, kind of, ahead of the curve all year. And it's like, you can't just be on that streak like that for the whole season. Like this team, what I mean? So they had to kind of have a moment to kind of come back down to earth a little bit. And y'all started something really great. 7 wins is great. They probably could get 8 or 9 for the year. And, build up a little bit more depth. I think this is what it's showing them. They need more weapons, more guys on the defensive side as well, which I know they would do with the defensive coach. And CJ Stroud's your guy. It's just, this is a nice learning year.
Yeah, you can't have a perfect, season. Not everyone can have a perfect season, especially your rookie year. Like, yeah. To say that he was overachieving, I feel is like putting it lightly. Like he's been playing lights out. He's been in the MVP conversation for us at certain times. Like that's how good he's been playing. So CJ Stroud, get healthy, man. You got a long career ahead of you, and I hope that the Texans do make the playoffs. But if they make the playoffs limping in worse than the Jaguars are, then like, do you really want to see him there? You'd rather see him like get healthy, back full strength next year. But what's good? I wanted to say JT's a boy. He's our resident Giants fan, by the way. He's been a little quiet this year because the Giants. I get it, but he's feeling some DeVito magic, dude. He said the Pack's about to get DeVito. Okay.
Hey, I'm just saying, I need to get out there and get that DeVito sandwich with the vodka marinara sauce on it.
Sounds good, dude. It does sound good, bro. I can't lie on that. But another one that you wanted to gloss over real quick, but I thought it was a pretty important game because a very vocal guy that we have in our family here, our Still Nation Sports Network family, the Detroit Lions, dude. What happened? Jared Goof? Is that what happened, dude? Jared Goof or Jared Goff? I mean, we both called this, right? We both said that the Bears are gonna have a home win, and that's what happened. It's like the Lions couldn't hold serve, and the Bears had the formula on how to beat them. Maybe it was too cold for Jared Goff. I don't know, dude. But did you peep more of this game? Because this game was going on during the Buccaneers-Falcons game. So 1 o'clock, I really was watching it. I told you earlier, like Red Zone really doesn't show any love to the Buccaneers, even during a division game. I'm sure you saw some, but you guys didn't see all the plays there. Like I didn't see that Carlton Davis had almost a goal line pick six. Like they didn't show that on there, so I had to watch it, and I missed a lot of the other games. So what did you think about this game, and what did you see more importantly?
Well, yeah, I was locked into this game, obviously. I mean, keeping an eye on my boys there, and they're growing up, man. They already have a better year than last year already, more wins. So that's an improvement. Defensively, I think they have their defensive coach. I really think you stymie this Lions team, and I said this Lions is the ultimate example of an above average team where they have all their spots lined up. As far as the receivers, weapons, they got a good running back by committee. Like their defense is solid. They have everything, right? You have an adult at quarterback, but they know how to bother. They know how to bother this scheme. So this is 2 times in a row the Bears have done this. And again, though they lost that first Lions game, they go on and beat the Vikings. They go on and get a couple wins. Now they beat the Lions this time. So this was all about the Bears finding their identity. Having Montez Sweat was a great trade because it affects their entire D line. Now teams got to overcompensate for a real all-pro DN edge rusher that's making everybody else better, right? The secondary is great. Jalen Johnson, he has like, I think 4 or 5 interceptions for the year. I think he took 2 back to the house already. So they're building a defensive identity. So it comes down to the main question. Justin Fields, are you going to be the guy?
Are you?
Because we're going to get the Carolina pick no matter how this goes. We got that number 1 pick coming. Do we have to draft a quarterback, or can we actually trade off the number 1 pick and get like 10 picks? Right. And build this team, and just like the Texans just did, build up the team and be ready for the playoffs next season. Right. So I think I've seen enough to see that this team is going to be competitive. I'll just kind of just get a sneak peek for the Tuesday show. They're not in the bottom 5 anymore. My Bears, we got a winning streak. We got 5 wins for the year. Mathematically, there are 2 losses behind the playoff race. I'm just saying,
crazy, dude. That's crazy.
They escaped. They escaped the bottom 5, man. But again, they got that Carolina pick in their back pocket, right? So that's one thing with the Bears. Obviously, they're not gonna make the playoffs, but it makes me feel good to see any of the NFC North rivals suffer, right? So the line. This is about the Lions. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we saw since Thanksgiving, right? We said that's the time. Who are you as a team when it comes to Thanksgiving? The Cowboys, we saw them go up.
Yeah.
The 49ers, but then Seattle was coming down, and now you see the Lions. The Lions are likely going to win their division, but they're a first-round playoff exit. That's literally what they are. Like, this is a team just good enough to make the playoffs, and they're out of here. They're out of here now. And I don't know, next year, I'm sure the Vikings will figure out, is Captain Kirk coming back, or, you figure out someone quarterback. The Vikings are going to be back. The Packers is getting better. You see my Bears getting better. So the Lions blew their chance. This was their year to take like a strong, control of this division. They blew it. They blew it to me. And, they're just going to be an okay team. I think going forward, I think the Cowboys are going to, looking in the future, we may have to do a forecast of them one day, but the Cowboys are going to punish them, I think. The Cowboys look great against everyone. So the Lions, they're not ready for the big boys, and that's the test that people have to have. Like, and the Dolphins, they got to step up soon as well. You can be good destroying these trash teams, but, when it comes time to play elite talent, the Cowboys stepped up. We can't say they haven't anymore, right? The Lions, you're losing the bad teams now. You're losing the teams that we're not even, complete yet. Mm-hmm. And we figured you out twice. Should have beat you twice.
Should have beat you twice.
Packers got you. So you still got one more against the Vikings too. So I can't even guarantee you. Oh yeah, the Lions gonna win the division. They only 2 losses. I mean, was it 4 games left?
Yeah, Packers played tonight. Packers played tonight too, so they could catch up. It could only be 1 game behind, honestly. Or I guess it would still be 2 behind.
Well, with the losses though, but I mean the Vikings, I think, have another head-to-head game against them. I'm not sure about the Packers.
Oh, look at the Packers though, 3-game win streak right now.
They can be caught. The Lions can be caught. I mean, I think they're going to take the division, but they don't have a stronghold is the point. And that's disappointing when, starting the season off.
9 wins.
This game just exposed them. This game just exposed them that they're not ready for the elites.
Yeah, facts. And I kept saying that, and I kept telling, Money Train James, I'm like, man, be careful, dude. Like, you keep hyping yourself up and you're going to be ready for a letdown. And I'm worried about Jared Goff because I've seen him have bad games before. I've seen him have bad games in the Super Bowl, namely the one game you're not supposed to have a bad game, and I've seen him. And I've also, seen him. I was surprised to see him playing so consistently well. I was surprised to see that. I'm not surprised to see a very bad down bad game from him. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. It's just what I've seen from Jared Goff. That's why he left the Rams. That's why they tried to get rid of him and gave the Lions like whatever they gave him to get rid of that contract. And they didn't really take much from the Lions because of that, because they had to kind of offload Jared Goff because they didn't want him anymore. That's the reason why they got Matthew Stafford. That's the whole reason why, like, oh, you're losing. You're only getting Jared Goff. But, like, Matthew Stafford wanted to go someplace, and the Rams wanted to get rid of Jared Goff. I think if a franchise gets rid of you within like the first 10 years of your career, 5 years of your career, I mean it means a lot. They've seen enough, and I've seen enough from Jared Goff. Unfortunately, man, this is the way it is. Like you have to be very hesitant on crowning teams. Don't crown them too early, man, because if you crown them, September, October, come the end of November, come December, when things matter, when the finish line, you can actually see it now, and you're elbow fighting with everybody else around you. Like they're lucky that they got the cushion that they do, but even so, like they might get passed at the finish line here. And I wouldn't be surprised if that happens.
Like you said, I mean, Thanksgiving, that's really the line. There's Thanksgiving, you try to pile up as many wins as possible, like the Chiefs did and other teams, Eagles. Because when you get to Thanksgiving, it gets real, man. It gets real. You're going to take a couple L's, and can you maintain, and the Lions, I think they're going to be just good enough. I don't see them free falling, but they're just not a clear cut. They're not an elite team. That's really just the main point.
Unfortunately for Lions fans, it might be the same old Lions, but they are playing a lot better than they have been in the past. So at least you have something to look forward to. As Carlos said with the Texans fans, like this year's a win for you if you make it to the playoffs to begin with. But then because last year you guys didn't, I don't believe, make it to the playoffs. So get to the playoffs, get a win, have a winning season. That's a win all around for the Lions fans. And I don't think they should be ashamed of that. But it does suck to see you guys lose, to have an opening like you do and then lose like that, especially against, the Bears team. They're supposed to have the easiest schedule, dude. The Lions are. But yet they're getting smacked by these teams. Just saying. So my other thoughts that I needed to get from you, and another game I didn't really watch, and I was surprised to freaking see this score, was Bengals versus the Colts. Dude, what happened, bro? What happened? Was the Bengals defense that good, or the Jake Browning is just that guy?
Well, I mean, I picked the Bengals to win this game, so I'm not surprised at what happened here. Like
I'm surprised.
I thought with Browning and this is again just showing that the Bengals, they mismanaged the beginning of the season because Joe Burrow was not 100%. You could have went with Browning for the first 4 or 5 games until Joe Burrow was ready because he was overcompensating. That's how you get hurt most of the time. You're kind of trying to protect something else.
Yeah.
So Browning, he knows his offense. He has one of the best receiving cores in the league, with Chase and everyone, T. Higgins and Boyd,
Chase
Joe
Brown?
Mixon. Bengals have a solid defense. They've always had a solid defense since they went to the Super Bowl. So it goes back to, okay, the Colts, are you for real? Well, even though that's my second home away from home, I knew the Colts wasn't ready for prime time. I knew they weren't. They don't have enough. With the Minshew magic isn't enough, and it doesn't travel that well either. He's better at home. But Zach Moss, it was disappointing they couldn't run the ball more.
Yeah.
But obviously JT is out, Jonathan Taylor. Pittman was showing up, true number 1 receiver. They had nothing else on offense. And they couldn't convert enough, third downs to keep drives going as well. So it wasn't like Minshew played terrible. It's just you don't have enough playmakers. That's what they're going to, that's when you have an Anthony Richardson who could scramble for those 5 or 6 yards,
right?
Instead of trying to check it down or something. So that's one thing. And yeah, just the Bengals, this is still a Super Bowl, type roster, and they have a healthy quarterback. Joe Burrow wasn't healthy all year. Now they have a healthy quarterback who's competent, and hey, they can still make that run for the playoffs. I, wasn't ready to count them out of the playoff race, and they're literally tied, for the 6th and 7th spot. So this says a lot about the Bengals, about coaching, the overall team, and you got that system where you got that backup. The price of backup's going to go up, I think, this offseason because this is saving seasons, bro.
Yeah,
what I'm saying? So, yeah, good. Hey, the Bengals, they are a solid team, and that's going to be a scary team if they slip into the playoffs.
They may, yeah, especially with Jake Browning playing as well as he has. And you can see here, he's definitely getting the ball around, but I want to see number one up there a little bit more. I want to see him having 80 yards instead of our second string running back being the first leader in receptions. But you can see here there's a lot of big throws, like T. Higgins, only 2 receptions, but 72 yards. Chase Brown, only 3 receptions, but 80 yards. Joe Mixon, 3 receptions, 46 yards. So they're going far, but there is some checkdowns you can tell in here too. Again, I just want to see more to the star player as a backup, as someone who's playing and trying not to make mistakes. You often kind of shy away from number one, but you become a real threat when you are confident in yourself enough to make those throws and confident in the number one to make those close, body catches. Like every Randy Moss catch isn't like a wide open. He outran the guy. A lot of them are, there's a guy on his back, and at the last second he puts his hands out and just reels it in, and the cornerback has no idea. And then he's 6'4", can just shut a guy off. But that's what a good receiver does to me, and I think Jamar Chase does that. Obviously, a great wide receiving core here. The Bengals, they're a threat. They're definitely a threat, offensive threat. And their defense came up big, got a couple interceptions. You got to wonder though, how much of that is, the Colts and Gardner Minshew shooting themselves in the foot, and how much of that is the Bengals just playing well at home. Who's to say? Colts are a dome team, dude. They're the stadium team. I know they like to open the roof and all that, but they're good. They're a good weather team. The Bengals, they play outside, man. It's Ohio weather is a little different this time of year, so maybe that was part of it as well. And in some of these other games, you got to worry about or wonder about the weather. But in this, you got to wonder if maybe the Eagles are just under the weather, dude. What happened in this Eagles-Cowboys game? I mean, to me, it validates me having the Cowboys number one. To me, I know you guys want to have the 49ers number one, but this validates to me the Cowboys being number one because they're remaining consistent. They're looking exactly like the team that they have been against other teams. And Dak Prescott's being that dude. Him and Mike McCarthy are going back and forth, ready to go. Play's done. Mike McCarthy's ready with the next play. The defense is looking pretty good. I mean, obviously holding the Eagles to only 13 points. If you just look at that, you're like, whoa, defense did really well. But part of that as well is, Eagles just not playing well.
Side note, they held the Eagles actually to 6 points. That was a scoop and score. You got the right score. But I'm saying the Eagles defense scored 7 more than the offense. So it's even worse than it looks.
That's even worse, dude. Yeah. Wow. Which obviously you got to give the Cowboys all the credit for that win. A lot of it is on the Eagles, but credit to the Cowboys, man. They came up to play. They didn't shy away from this game. And with the Eagles, I know our friend Israel's knows about it, and Necron knows about it. With the Eagles losing, Cowboys winning, the 49ers winning, they jump up to number 1 seed, and the Eagles go from 1 to 5. They are now behind the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which, hey, I'd rather face the Eagles in the first round than the Cowboys as a Buccaneers fan. If the Buccaneers are making it into the playoffs to give us a chance. But either way, what are your ultimate thoughts about this game? How do you feel about the Eagles, and how do you feel about the Cowboys?
I mean, this was all expected. I mean, I'm just a lot of these games this week. I think these were some of our best picks this week because we called a lot of these. Okay, we see the trajectory of this team. We see what's going here. So I'm not surprised. It was funny because usually when I wake up, if I'm not starting work, I watch Skip Bayless and all the guys on sports talk and stuff. Yeah, and everyone the Cowboys are so great and Dak. It's like, bro, everyone saw this coming. I said a month ago, I said, the Cowboys going to beat them next time. It just setting up for that. You know what I mean? You at home in Dallas, Jerry's World. Dak is MVP of this season. I think it's clear he's going to be the MVP this season.
Look at those numbers.
I was not surprised at all. And this wasn't even his best game.
No.
This isn't even his most efficient game. That's scary. They actually ran the ball a little bit. I think as a team, they got over 80 yards rushing. That's nice, getting closer to 100. They got to get up there.
Yep.
But Spray the ball around. That's what Dak does, but make sure you make big plays with CeeDee Lamb. The formula is there. They know their formula. Dak can throw the ball, I think he threw it 34 times, 35 times?
34.
Dak,
39.
Yeah, Dak, 39. So, yeah, you let Dak throw it up to 40 times. That's okay. That formula works for them, right? The Eagles. That thing just said, because, again, I know, like, Cowboys fans are all happy and, like, chest thumping and stuff. This told me nothing about your team, Dallas. This is what you're supposed to do, right? This is what you're supposed to do, all right? So I can't, I can't give you a banner right now for this. Just if you would have lost, the sky would have been falling. Yes, if you would have lost this game. So I'm not trying to diss it. Like, I'm not impressed. I'm just saying you're supposed to do this. Now the Eagles, I'm gonna give a hot take here, and we'll kind of see how this goes, but I'm not ready. A lot of people kind of ready to bury the Eagles. I'm actually not ready to bury it. I actually think they're still going to win that division. Actually,
wow.
I actually think, and we'll talk about it more in the weeks to come. Think of it like you have your moments, your slumps in each year. 49ers had a 3-game losing streak early, right? Your Bucks, they had a rough spot, before Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? It's like sometimes you just have your moments. The Dolphins, they got touched up early. You know what I mean? It's like this is just the Eagles down period. That's all. They need to regroup, and they could technically win out when we look at their forecast in the future, or we revisit it in the future.
Just so right now, wow.
The Eagles, okay, perfect timing. All right. So we called it up to this point. We called a loss with the 49ers, and we called a loss with the Cowboys. Now, I was iffy about the Seahawks, but we know who the Seahawks are.
Yeah,
I can see
that's a win.
I can see the Eagles taking care of business the rest of the season.
Yeah,
and
win out.
Yeah, and then it's going to be a 14-3 record.
14-3.
That could still win the division right there.
Compared to who the Cowboys have to play the next couple of weeks, the Bills, the Dolphins, the Lions, which aren't going to be easy wins by any means, especially the Bills and the Dolphins.
Yeah, I mean, and you're on the road. Cowboys on the road is more gettable than at home. I'm going to give them that. When they're at home, they probably are unbeatable this year, the Cowboys. That's why they really would love that number 1 seed, because you got to go to Jerry's world.
Facts.
On your way, then you get to the Super Bowl, anything can happen. It may not be the path the Cowboys can take, but I think the Bills or Dolphins, one of them is you're going to get you. One of them is going to get the Cowboys out on the road, right? If the Eagles went out, they win a division.
And think about the Bills that they're playing next week. The Bills are going home after just beating the Chiefs, and getting disrespected all week, or at least right now, the Monday right now. We'll talk about that game. I saved it for last. We're talking about that last, but they're getting highly disrespected in this whole Bills Chiefs thing. And the Bills Mafia, they don't want to see their team lose, and their team's playing really well right now. They're galvanized around the coach because a hit piece came out on him, and they're playing. So definitely don't sleep on the Bills. If the Cowboys go in and beat the Bills, though,
Dolphins getting them.
Dolphins getting them.
I'm gonna call it right now. Yeah, I mean, now if somehow they drop it against the Bills, I think the Cowboys. I just don't see them winning both of these games on the road. One of those teams is going to get them.
Okay. What do you think? What happens when they play at home versus the Lions?
Oh, it's a win. The Cowboys at home. I think they boat race the Lions.
I just asked you because Money Train James just got here.
They're going to try to score as much as the Ravens did against them. Against the Lions earlier. That's they're destroying them.
But I don't expect even if they do lose one of these games, I don't expect the numbers from Dak to drop at all. If anything, maybe they get in the cold weather, maybe they get an interception due to that, but I don't think. Sorry, bro. Sorry, bro. We talked about that game already. If you want to go get hurt a little bit more, dog. Sorry.
I thought I warned you, Money Jane. I thought I warned you when
we told you.
You know what I'm saying? I tried to tell you my boys was ready.
That's you, dog. Sorry, homie. Sorry, homie. But no, that was a good game. Obviously, the Cowboys, Eagles. The other game that we got to get to is A surprising game for me. Maybe not so surprising for you, because I called. This is actually the one that I was not right about. Maybe hyped up Trevor Lawrence a little bit too much. Maybe didn't give. Maybe didn't give Joe.
I hope you remember that
I
mistake.
remember, bro. I remember. Oh man. And I will never disrespect Joe Flacco again, dude. But still a close game. Still a close game. They didn't get blown out, but it was a blowout for a little bit. And then Trevor Lawrence, you know, he always comes to play at the end of a game for some reason instead of the first 3 quarters. I don't know why. But Browns held off. They might be a team. The funny thing about this, since Joe Flacco was called up from the practice squad, after, and this is just a rule, this just happens, after you're called up from the practice squad for a game, after the game, you're immediately reverted back to the practice squad. So after balling out, winning the game for the Browns and holding face for them in the AFC North, keeping them at 8-5, back on the practice squad. Back on the practice squad, dude. Homie goes 26 of 45, 311 yards, 3 touchdowns, and has 1 interception, but back on the practice squad, which is hilarious because technically that means he's a free agent. Now, Joe Flacco said, I guess, that he wants to stay in Cleveland, so he's not going to sign anywhere else. But technically, he could sign with any team he wanted right now, the highest bidder if Joe Flacco wanted to. But Cleveland's looking good. They're 8-5. They're holding face. We think Steelers are probably going to fall off. The Bengals might be able to maybe compete for the AFC North. That'll be an interesting race. But ultimately, I know you're going to say probably you called it with Trevor Lawrence. But what did you see with this game and with the Jaguars and the Browns?
No, yeah, I mean, you know how much I do not believe in Trevor Lawrence, right? I think, again, they have a scrappy team. I mean, just come on, let's just start with efficiency. Okay.
Yeah.
28 for 50. Okay. It's like you're trying to lose this game, bro. Okay. Now I know Joe wasn't that much better, but this is Joe Flacco. We put some respect on his name, right?
Yeah.
Trevor
winning.
We need a better ratio than this. 28 for 50. First, you shouldn't be throwing the ball 50 times. Now, this score is a little deceiving. This game was over with about 5 minutes left. It was 31-17.
Yeah.
So this is closer than what it really. The Browns, out-toughed them, outplayed them. We know that Browns defense, they let off the gas a little bit in the fourth quarter. But we know the Browns defense are legit. It was all about that quarterback all year. Deshaun Watson situation, the shoulder, won't he play? PJ Walker wasn't the answer. DTR, how do you get an acronym when you haven't won a game yet, right? I don't know how he became a thing. You had RG3 trying to call them up, hey, sign me. You bring out Joe Flacco, who you believed in Joe last week. I'm really disappointed in you, Austin, because you believed in Joe last week when they lost.
I did.
And I was like, in a loss, I was like, they got something here.
Yeah.
They got something here with Joe, right? And so they thoroughly outplayed. They physicaled the Jags. So it tells you a few things. Trevor Lawrence, like I said, hey, you're not ready for prime time yet. I don't know whether you need to study more tape or I don't know. They need to have a real running game. He should not be throwing the ball 50 times. I don't trust your arm enough to have 50 chances for someone to pick it off. And they got you 3 times. And they could have picked him off more in this game too. So that's coaching. They got to figure out who he is. He's not, he's not the young Peyton Manning or nothing like that. And the funny thing, again, with the Browns, we know they have the formula, the defense. They got a running game, a good committee right there, Kareem Hunt. So this, right now the Jags, they'll probably win their division still. AFC South, 4th seed. Browns, they're not going to catch the Ravens. So they're probably the 5th seed. This is probably a playoff matchup right here, a future playoff matchup right here.
Okay.
First round. The Browns already showed they could beat you, that they can out-physical you. You know what I'm saying? So keep an eye on that, how the playoffs kind of fall. With the Texans getting hurt, the Colts are going to regress. The Jags should win their division, and the Browns should be a playoff team. Like I said, the Browns, they just showed them right there, we're a tougher team than you. We got some better coaching. then you right now, Doug Peterson needs to figure this out.
He does.
And you know what I mean? Because this isn't, we always talk about formula. This isn't it. This isn't it, man. Kurt Warner was right. Kurt Warner was right, bro.
Absolutely. 50 attempts, 3 for 3. That's a Jameis Winston numbers, dude.
Right. This is Jameis Winston level.
Yeah, we can't do that.
We all understand. James, he's not a starting quarterback in his league. He can spell you. He can give you a couple of drives, and he'll probably throw them one and throw you one, right? Yep. So you don't want to be that on this team. And,
no.
So, yeah, I mean, like I said, it's really, this is the only piece for the Jags they got to figure out is that quarterback. He needs to progress. You can't be the same as you were at the beginning of last year. You have not made any progress this year. And your team is playoff ready. But this was totally expected. And look at that. I mean, the division is close, but they should win just by default because the other teams are falling off kind of.
Yeah, unfortunately, Texans hit that wall, like you said.
Yeah, they would have had it, man. I mean, those injuries, they would have had it. And just imagine if Anthony Richardson was playing the rookie quarterback for the Colts.
Yeah. Their
probably could have easily won this division, man.
And I would say, too, like probably the best defense in the division will win the division. When you have multiple great defenses and you're going to have multiple teams. Texans had a scrappy, defense put together. Low-key had one of the best, like, sack leaders in the game. I forget what his name is now, but JJ Watt was shouting him out, one of the defensive ends there. The Colts have a very great defense. They got rid of Shaquille Leonard like it wasn't no thing and then played great the next weekend. But the Colts didn't come to play. It's like, do you want to win this division? The Jaguars might have won enough games and might win enough games. And maybe that's what the next thing I'll have to do is some AFC South projections and schedules is to see how that's going to end up. But I'm with you. I think that the Jaguars are probably going to win. Even with losing this, they made it close for the score's sake. But as you said, like too little, too late. Like you got to start faster. You got to do more. The Browns, they're like, yeah, we have this one. We're up by 17 points with 5 minutes left. Like we're good. They were able to just go ahead. I'm hella disappointed in Trevor Lawrence. As you said, like so much regression. You can't. This is not a winning formula. We need to run the ball more. You need to run the ball more as a Jaguars team. Focus on ETN instead of 50 throws. Like that's even in a Tom Brady game. That's not good. And he is the best passer of all time. Like you never want to have 50 throws, and you never want to be put in that situation. So I think it's been the same issue with the Jaguars all season is that they start slow. And that's been their identity. They start slow. They never have enough gas. Maybe that's coaching. I don't know. Doug Peterson is a Super Bowl head-winning coach. He turned the Jaguars around after Urban Meyer was there and made them a playoff team and made them, very, very good. But something is wrong there. Calvin Ridley and Trevor Lawrence aren't on the same page, and you got like a weird like interaction with them. Trevor Lawrence is yelling at Calvin Ridley. It's like, you got to get it together. Obviously, winning heals all. But when you're playing from behind every game, it's never going to be a good situation. It's never going to feel good as a team. Like you're always going to be on edge. So, yeah, man, Jaguars, get it together, man. Get it together. It might be like an early, like you said, early playoff exit. That's probably what it's going to be for the Jaguars, unfortunately. But Browns, did you find something with Joe Flacco? Super Bowl winning quarterback came off the couch. Thought he might have been done. Thought he might have been retired until he got this call, and now he's in there. I wish I stuck with him and held faith with him, but the first week I called him, man. And the first week he lost for me, so I was like, I can't do it. But a game that was surprising. We called it during the day. I said Vegas is not giving enough respect to Dad and the LA Rams, and they did it, albeit. I think the spread was covered because of this and how it ended. But
5.5 was the spread.
Yeah, I hate how the overtime now it's kind of like, oh, you score, you win, it's sudden death. I know it's different for the playoffs, but it's hella confusing because when you get to the playoffs, it's like a little bit like I think it's different. I could be wrong. I thought maybe it's Super Bowl.
No, they both had a possession, and then they both punted. The Rams punted, and then just the Ravens scored.
I didn't even see it. I didn't see it. But shout out to the Ravens, man. Statement win. Rams are there. I like it also for the Rams. Now, it sucks that Matthew Stafford went out and they had no plan and no backup for that, and they played so crappily for a couple weeks. But with Matthew Stafford in, you could see how much of a difference it makes in this team, and like the stuff that he can do, his smarts, his intelligence, his how much experience he has. He had this Rams team on the road going to OT, like against a very hard Ravens team who you think is going to win the Super Bowl or go to the Super Bowl.
Go to the Super Bowl.
So I think it's a good, obviously a great win for the Rams, but it's still a good loss, or a good win for the Ravens, a good loss for the Rams though. And it shows me that Sean McVay is a great coach. It's not just a flash in the pan. It wasn't just the combination of all the players that you had put together, Aaron Donald, all that stuff. You actually are a great coach. It's just you need to have a quarterback, because if his offense can't run, then that team doesn't run. The defense doesn't get enough time to get off the field. And I think that's kind of what this was. Like the Rams, they didn't have anything in OT. They punted, and the defense didn't have any gas left, and the Ravens just ran it all the way down the field. So how did you feel about this game? And what was your takeaway that I kind of gave a little spoiler for?
Yeah, no, definitely. Overall, this was a must win for the Ravens. It probably sounds weird saying that, but like to solidify Ravens, are you going to be, as far as the AFC side, are you going to be strongly the favorite? Now I know we got some Dolphins fans out there still, but I think if you line these teams up, the Ravens will put hands on the Dolphins, okay? Like a back alley type stuff. So now we'll see. Maybe that's the AFC Championship game. It'll be fun to see if they meet, right? But I think the Ravens are clear-cut the best AFC team. It remains to be seen when they face, I think they face the 49ers this in the season. That's going to be very interesting to see how they match up. But in this game, they had to win. Like the way this game, if you wasn't going to blow them out, I did think this would be like a multiple score win for them. Yeah. And like we said, dad didn't let the family down, man. Like Stafford kept slinging it. The Ravens, usually all Lamar has to do, and you'll probably have the stats up here in a moment, but all Lamar has to do is, play efficient football, maintain their lead into the fourth quarter, either going into the fourth quarter or into the fourth quarter. He got into a little shootout in the fourth quarter, and that's how you beat the Ravens, though. Yep. You make Lamar throw it more than 35 times, because if you're the Ravens coach, you don't want Lamar throwing the ball over 40 times. You don't. So when you have an unexpected game like this, I was like the Ravens really have to win this game to show that they can win a game like this, because they lost a game like this to the Browns, and lost a game, though it wasn't as high scoring, to the Steelers earlier this year. And like all their losses, it was like close. Fourth quarter, they couldn't close the door. Right. So now you got the Ravens. The Lamar does do a good drive in the fourth quarter. Now, okay, Ravens defense got to close the door, right? Stafford and Sean McVay, that offense, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, they are for real, man. Like if they sneak into the playoffs, it's going to be tough. No one wants to see the Rams.
No.
This roster, reloaded offense. Cooper Kupp is still – come on. Cooper Kupp had the best wide receiver year ever a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
Triple crown, more yards, touchdowns. Super Bowl, was he Super Bowl MVP? Or I think
he might have been. He was offensive player of the year, I think.
That's I know he was like, he just had the best receiving year, like just
blew
technically
everybody out of the water.
Yeah,
dude.
So he's still there. And then you found the next guy who's going to do it for the next 10 years, Puka Nacua, who's just as good and faster than Cooper Kupp. The Rams are for real. You still got that beast, Aaron Donald. He never sacked Lamar Jackson in his career. He had him with one hand in this game, and Lamar was
around.
He hurt, but got the ball away. So Aaron Donald almost got him. But that's cool to see, like the veteran, the greats go at each other like that. So this said a lot, obviously, about, like I said, the Rams. If they can sneak into the playoffs, we'll see. We'll probably forecast them because they have to play the 49ers the end of the year. But they kind of have a, I don't say a cushy schedule, but they're right there in the playoff chase all the way down to the end. And the Ravens, you needed a quality win. And I mean, like a game, hey, maybe you should have lost this, but you found a way to win. And you got to give them that credit. So after they won that, I think that's when I put in the DM. I said, the Ravens going to the Super Bowl. Like winning the way they just won. I don't see them. I don't see anybody in the AFC beating them. The Chiefs, we'll talk about the Chiefs in a minute. And I don't believe the Dolphins ready, like I said, to get into a street fight. I don't think the Dolphins ready for this complete team. So, Ravens are securely my favorite from the AFC going forward.
That's a fair assessment, man. It's a fair assessment. I mean, I got to agree with everything you said there, especially when you see these numbers. You see Lamar Jackson having 11 carries, 70 yards. OBJ, 4 receptions, 97 yards, a TD. That's always nice to see.
He had a vintage catch for a touchdown, too, a diving catch. Like it's like, okay, Odell's back.
It's nice to see that. But it's also nice to see on the other side, like I said, the Rams. Matthew Stafford's doing his thing, almost 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Kyron Williams being back is a huge factor. You can see it right here. 25 carries, 114 yards on a Ravens defense. That's huge. So that's why I said, even in this loss, the Rams as a team, as a fan base, you should be hopeful that you guys can make the playoffs. And if you do make the playoffs, that you'll have a chance and you won't just be a first round out like my Buccaneers. But that leads us in to the last game. And I did have the Falcons Buccaneers, actually. I don't know why that didn't load. Of course, that's always happens to me. There we go. Boom. And I don't have the right numbers. Of course, I shouldn't even have loaded this up. So what's the point? The Buccaneers Falcons came down to the last possession almost. I'm watching this game. I had to tune out a couple of times. I'm like, God, because I told my lady.
I missed the ending. So you can feel. I actually didn't see the ending of this.
I told my lady, and this is it's not even the right numbers. I'm not even gonna put that up. I'll just put this up right here.
What was the score?
It was 29-22. Okay. They won by 5 points. It came down to Baker Mayfield just being a dog, and he's had like some of the best fourth quarter comebacks this year, and even in losses. He's had that comeback, and then, just a bad defensive play led to a loss. Even in the Colts loss, they still had a chance. The Texans lost, they still had a chance. I think they still had a chance against the 49ers, but it's bad defense and just missed plays on the offense for the Buccaneers. So it was a close game, but they won. Oh, it's 29-25. Sorry, 29-25.
Oh,
that's what the game ended up being. And it was 22-25 with about 3 minutes left. The Buccaneers got the ball back, and Baker Mayfield went and drove down the field. It was a 12-play drive, multiple 3-and-long conversions by Baker Mayfield to get them going on the field. And then on a 2nd and 9, throws from the 25-yard line to the back of the end zone, a perfect dot to K-Dot and over the shoulder, over the Falcons defender, boom, again for the game, winning touchdown. I will say Desmond Ridder, had it been any other quarterback, I would have been worried. But they got the ball back with like 30 seconds left, and they were able to get to like the 50-yard line and throw a Hail Mary, which they caught. But Drake London caught it
like 10 yards short.
Yeah, I know, but still caught it. I was like, no way they caught
I did see that part,
but because it's on the Buccaneers, that's why he caught it. Any other team they would have dropped it. But it was still a good game by the Buccaneers, a good team win. I know it's the Falcons and whatever, and they've played whatever. That's a top 5 rushing team in the NFL that they were able to stop and keep Algier and I forget Bijan Robinson. I guess he's not even the top rusher yesterday. But Drake London, that 172 yards is a little, deceiving there with that last play there. But still, had a very good game on that side. Desmond Ridder, it's not the formula to win, though. Like you said, 40 throws, 40 attempts, yeah. But 347 yards, still pretty good. Again, that's a little misleading because of that Hail Mary. On the other side, I think Baker Mayfield played well, but he needs to have bigger numbers in order for us to play well against these other playoff teams in the NFC. Like, we're not going to stack up against Dak, against Brock, against Jalen if he's having a good game. Like Baker Mayfield, 14 and 29, 144 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's not going to cut it. But it was good enough to get us a win. I will say another great game by Rachaad White. He had a lot of receiving yards on this game too, but 25 carries, 102 yards. That's about 5 yards a carry. Then you see Chris Godwin. We got him the ball, but only 5 receptions and 53 yards. There's a lot of missed plays. Like it was the sloppiest game, one of the sloppiest games by the Buccaneers, but the fact that they still won the game is huge. 6-7, Buccaneers, Falcons 6-7, Saints 6-7. The Buccaneers have a tiebreaker though because they have a better. They all won head to head, but it's like 1-1. The Buccaneers have a better division record, so that's why they're first, and they're the 5th seed above the Eagles. I was like, what's good, Lions? What's good, 49ers? What's good, Cowboys? Feels good to be a division lead. Yeah, nice to be here. Nice to be here. Not in the same caliber, though. Not the same caliber teams. No. Not even close. Not even close. But yeah, give me that W. I'll take it all day, bro. I'll take it all day. I will say the Buccaneers got a hard, not an easy schedule going forward. I won't say easy. Next week, we got the Packers in Lambeau. That might be a fat L, depending how they play tonight. That might be a fat L. We'll see how that goes. Jaguars at home. If we can score a lot, that's a W. Saints at home, that's a W. Panthers away, that's a W. So they could end, what we say, 9-8. 9-8. Right 6-7 right now. They can win 3 more. Yeah, 9-8. 9-8. They can end with a winning record if they beat the Jaguars. But I'm pretty sure next week they're going to take an L versus the Packers. But what do you think the Buccaneers are going to be able to win this out? Probably, hopefully.
Oh, definitely not winning out, right? But this was a must-win game, like we said, and
yeah,
certain teams, like we were saying too, it's playoff mode every single week. Yeah, great job pulling out this division win. Guess what? You got to do it again next week. Like you're on the clock again, because I think whoever wins this division, NFC South, it will be 8-9 will be the record to win it actually. So you still got 2 losses really to play with, but you got to win your division game. So I believe, Packers, I think that's a loss. Potentially Jags is a loss, but you got to win that division game against the Saints and, obviously the Panthers. So that could be enough to win the division. We'll see, because like I said, these teams, NFC South, I see all these teams having a rocky end into the season. Yeah. But that was a game, that division game, that's what you circled, because you would have had no chance without winning that game. Now, if I'm the Falcons, you Falcons fans should be just heartbroken. I think they were at home, so that's lemon pepper, right? And it just didn't work. It didn't work for them. Desmond Ridder had one of his best games at quarterback.
He did.
But this goes on Arthur Smith and the coaching. Y'all didn't run the ball. They didn't run the ball enough. That's what the Falcons, that's supposed to be your bread and butter. Run the ball over 100 yards rushing, all added up. I think they just probably got over 100 cumulative, but they didn't run the ball enough. When you see Drake London with 10 catches, not good enough, right? Not good enough on the ground to win that game. So let's see what they got, like 70,
barely 100.
So it's like you should have like 40 carries combined.
Yep.
They're probably like 25 right there. Like that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. The game planning. You don't want Ridder. Everyone knows Ridder is one of the worst starting quarterbacks. So why is he throwing the ball 40 times? And you could have controlled this clock a little bit against the Bucs. That's how you beat the Bucs. You actually want to keep, Baker off the field. You want to keep, those explosive players from Mike Evans. So, great win for the Bucs because you had to win no matter what.
Yeah.
For the Falcons, those a close loss. You're like, oh, hey, we saw some positives. No, you're usually going to have the worst quarterback on the field every game. Ridder was actually better technically than Baker Mayfield, and they still lost.
Yeah,
that's not a good. That doesn't look good for the Falcons going forward. So I can see them dropping off. We'll probably forecast them or this division in the future, but I see them dropping off. It's about for you. I wouldn't get too discouraged as you saw that forecast. The Packers are looking good. That should be a
tough.
loss. The Jags, Trevor Lawrence probably will figure it out that week against your team.
Right.
It's about that Saints game, man. That's part of your season when you get to that Saints game and you do this all over again.
I know. We'll see how the division stacks up and how everyone shuffles at that point. But I will say, since winning last week, was last week a loss? I can't even remember now. Because there's been so many losses this season for the Buccaneers. But winning this game is huge. Oh yeah, we won against the Panthers last week. Winning this week, we're on a little bit of a roll now. Scrappy wins, division wins. We always expect them to be close, especially in the NFC South with all of these mediocre teams. But they've known that it's supposed to be playoff football every week, and they've said that in the locker room. Even with all the chatter on the outside, all of the fan base saying "Fire Todd Bowles." I watched the victory speech from Todd Bowles, and everyone's still loving him. Everyone still loves him on the team. The players are still playing for him. He has not lost that locker room. Yeah, it's very important. And the coaches are still all behind him. The whole organization is still behind Todd Bowles as the coach. And obviously, I'm not happy with some of the decisions he's made because it's cost us a lot of games. It's cost us, greatest of all time, some games, and Super Bowl chances. However, definitely probably the best person we have going forward. Like, I don't know who else would step into that role if he were to be fired, unless Bruce Arians is going to come down from being, in the boardroom to come down and coach again. That's the only better fit that I would see. I think that with these games all being playoff games, if they can play, we don't have to win. As you said, we don't have to win the Packers game, but if they can play well and they can show fight and not get blown out or not take a loss like we did against the 49ers, even though I still thought that was a good close game in many aspects, I think that gives me a lot of hope for what they can possibly become, because I still think the Bucs team is getting better. They have to figure out on defense. They're 2-0 without Devin White now, since Devin White's been gone. And there's been no drop-off. Actually, there's been an increase in production with the inside linebacker. So I think that's part of the reason. You got the locker room cancer out of there. That's part of the reason why they're playing better. Because I think when you have someone who talks a lot of shit and doesn't do shit, and he still starts and gets a majority of the possessions, a lot of people on the other team don't want to try. They don't want to, try as hard. They don't want to put in the same amount of effort because, you're letting that guy start. But if we can keep him out, or we can keep the people in who are playing their asses off in, I think we have an absolute chance to not only to win this division, but to maybe pull up some upsets in the playoffs. Yeah, but I'm just a hopeful optimist with the Bucs.
So
obviously.
You are. You totally are. But it's good because momentum is a real thing. So, like, if you saw evidence that they're still behind the coach, playing for the coach, that can build up some mojo there. And I'm not going to totally count them out going into the Packers game. I mean, we'll talk about that Sunday, for the Sunday countdown. But I think they are on the right track, and it was a huge win for the division. And I'm not going to just totally count them out. I don't think they're going to win out, but they could probably string a win or two together.
Absolutely. The only problem I have here, obviously, can't have Mike Evans down here with one catch. Can't have that. Cannot have that.
It's almost like pick one receiver, because each game one of them's going to put like a bagel up or something like that. 1 for 8. Godwin just won't get any targets. And his wife gets mad.
I know, dude. Come on.
You know what I mean?
Just play the game.
Cade Otton was having some good games strung together, and like he had that one big catch, obviously, for a touchdown. But from what I saw, like, he wasn't getting targets. It's a weird thing with this team where just one of the receivers is not going to get any targets. The other one will.
To figure it out, Baker, and figure it out, Dave Canales. I will say that it is a first year offensive coordinator. So, sometimes when you try to overcompensate, the whole offensive plan can get a little messed up and a little cruddy. Hey, at least they won the game. So it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter how many players got how many balls and how many yards and how many touchdowns. It doesn't matter. You got the W. That's all that matters. Big game out of Rachaad White. Huge on the ground. 2 big receptions, one of them leading to a touchdown. So you got to be happy about that. That's a second-year player right there, Rashad White, who took over Leonard Fournette's spot, and he's playing up to the task. So shout out to the Buccaneers and shout out to the Bills, baby, pulling up the upset and making me a happy man on a Monday morning, especially when I get to see a Karen. Oh my God!
This is so disrespectful.
Man.
This is so disrespectful.
Wait a second. Oh no!
This is the most
I need to
disrespectful
speak to the
thing.
manager. How does he sound? I need to speak to the manager.
How does he sound, bro? How does he sound? Oh man, Patrick Mahomes, but you're supposed to be Golden Boy. You're supposed to be Golden Boy. What happened? What happened? Oh man, obviously big win for the Bills. Chiefs, you played like dog crap all game, and then you want to complain about a call at the end of the game where bad coaching leads to your player literally doing this. It's not about the foot, guys. It's not about the foot. If this is the line of scrimmage right here, my edge of my desk, okay, you can't have your head over it like this. All right?
Yeah.
The reason being is if you're a defensive player doing that, wouldn't you not want somebody like Von Miller, Aaron Donald, TJ Watt able to have a full head length? Oh, my feet are behind the line. My hands are behind, but your whole body's over the line.
And his foot, and for the sake of it, his foot was over the line too.
So it was over, yes. It was too, yes.
The rules of the game is to
sucks
behind the football, right?
Right.
I mean, that's just what it is, man. Yeah.
And to give a little inside baseball there, I heard some players talk about it today. The ref will usually be like, hey, get back. But veteran refs, if it's a professional league, right? Be a pro. If it's so egregious, they won't warn you. If it's like just an inch and you're just a little bit over, they'll say, hey. But if it's
they're not required to,
they're not required to, right?
They're not required to tell you to line up you as a receiver, and
you have to look over.
Kadarius Toney, he's been in the league long enough. I can understand a rookie just in the heat of the moment, but this guy, you line up, you'll give the thumbs up, the ref will tell you.
Yeah.
Like back up or whatever. He would have told you scoot back just a little bit.
He didn't even look.
He would have kept looking at him, and the quarterback's looking as he set. So so as far as who we want to blame, right? I'm not blaming the ref.
No.
This is all Kadarius Toney. Because if Kadarius Toney, what Mahomes is doing when he's lined up as quarterback, he's seeing is everyone set. Everyone looks set. So Mahomes like, okay, I think everyone's set. So I'm good, right? If he would have looked over and saw Kadarius Toney looking at the ref,
he would have wait.
He would have waited, threw some cadence out there. Okay, as he said, okay. So this is all on the receiver. So we understand though why is Mahomes, the question? Okay, why is Mahomes so upset? Because he has Kadarius Toney as a teammate. That's why he's upset. Okay, that's why he's upset. I know he had to make a scene because when you lose like that, now Mahomes is a great teammate too. He's a great teammate. When against the Eagles, Chiefs versus Eagles, he threw a perfect pass to Valdez Scantling, who dropped it right in front of the end zone. And Mahomes said, maybe I got to throw a more perfect ball. I was like, good teammate, Mahomes, right?
Yeah.
Good job right there. So when he sees that he lost because his receiver was not lined up properly, he's like, okay, I got to blame somebody. I can't just blame my guy.
It's the ref's fault.
Yeah. But was that overboard? Yes, that was overboard. He was upset.
To say the least.
Was in the stands, so he was just pissed off. Like, he's like, Taylor Swift is here. I think I saw him say that. I think I saw him say the Swifties was there. So this was a total meltdown. Total meltdown. And I think this was just build up frustration. Like, because people will have different outlets and a punching bag or something. This was Mahomes he had to let it out all year. This has been, his worst season of his career. That's how great he started. These are the worst weapons he's ever had. And he lost at least 2 games now because of one guy, Kadarius Toney. And so he just had to blame somebody.
Let it go.
So I actually think, though it was a meltdown, it was some Karen. That was actually him being a good teammate, actually, I would say.
That's a fair take on it and a fair assessment of it. I will say, as someone who I don't like the Chiefs to begin with, and obviously I never have because the NFL kind of propped them up while Tom Brady was still in the league and while they were still a dynasty. I'm like, what are we doing, guys? But all right. With that being said, there's a lot of these games that happen, right? There's a lot of these close games that happen with the Chiefs, and a lot of times that they win because of calls going their way, because of these little ticky-tack calls that shouldn't have been called one way. I will say a couple of years ago, Tom Brady has no weapons as well. Tom Brady is throwing with nobody 2019, and he actually has the Patriots in the verge of being somehow in the, stealing first place from the Chiefs. At least they could have knocked the Chiefs out of first place. And they're playing in Foxborough. Tom Brady's throwing to a rookie wide receiver by the name of N'Keal Harry. I don't know if anybody knows who that is. Probably not.
He's still in the league. Yeah.
He's still in the league, but not great. And another one of these journeyman type wide receivers, obviously way better than I could ever be. But I'm just saying that's who he was throwing to, a rookie wide receiver with
that's last year with the Patriots.
That was his last year with the Patriots.
Yeah, and they lost to the Titans in the playoffs. Yeah. He had a terrible receiver.
It was terrible receiver core, but that's the guy. The guy actually caught it, stayed in bounds, and dived into the end zone, and it would have been the winning touchdown. But the refs called him out of bounds, and this was before. This is before I think anything got reviewed under the last 2 minutes or whatever. This is before that rule was in place, and Bill Belichick didn't have any challenge flags. He didn't have any timeouts, so he couldn't call a challenge. So they couldn't review it, but they called him out of bounds. And there's pictures. There's an inch gap. There's green in between N'Keal Harry's foot and the out of bounds. Tom Brady lost that game because of a bad ref call versus the Chiefs. What did Tom Brady say? It is what it is. Patrick Mahomes loses, and this is what we get. You know what I'm saying? You can't blame the refs. You can't blame the refs, dude. You should not. If you are as good as you think you are, if you are as deserving as all the accolades and all the things that people say about you as you think you are, you shouldn't be put in that position to begin with. You shouldn't have never had to be playing from behind in a game that the team won and they only scored 20 points. You shouldn't be playing in that position. We shouldn't have to have fucking Travis Kelce throwing a football 20 yards down the field. That shouldn't be. You shouldn't need that to win the game. And also, if you lose, don't be a sore loser like that. Everyone wanted to bitch about Tom Brady not shaking people's hands sometimes. I would have rather seen Patrick Mahomes walk the fuck off the field than to see this. Don't go shake his hand. If you're gonna go walk up to your opponent and not show any fucking respect, dude, this is the most disrespect. Say what you want. All right,
he was still complaining about the call. Yeah, to Josh Allen.
You're being a good teammate because you're blaming the ref. All of that. I'm okay with all of that, dude. This right here pisses me the fuck off. This is disrespectful on the game of football. It's not even just you disrespected Josh Allen. You're still being a little bitch complaining about it when you're supposed to be congratulating your teammate or your opponent for a good game. And if you're boys with him, also say, hey man, you got us. Sorry for being a bitch and flipping out on the sideline and causing a whole scene. My bad. But nah, you're still bitching about it. And shout out to Josh Allen for just tapping him on the chest and being like, yeah,
dude, whatever, bro.
Suck my dick, dude. We lost because we didn't get a fucking coin toss, dude. What the fuck? If they only knew what Josh Allen was dealing with, and he's gonna listen to Patrick Mahomes bitch to him in midfield, this is the most egregious thing I've ever seen from a football player. This pisses me off. That pisses me off.
It does look like sore, and I get that. I'm when I say the tantrum, I'm talking about on the sideline. He's surrounded by his teammates. He's acting like he's gonna, smack up the ref or something.
Yeah, what is that?
I was like, that was for his team. That was for his team. But I'm with you when you say, okay, game's over, bro. You're walking up to the opponent They got the mic on him. He's like, it's a terrible call. It's like,
That's the worst
like,
fucking all time. Yeah.
It's like, okay, Mahomes. It's
Come
like,
on.
okay, bro. Like, I get it. You showed your team. You're a good teammate.
You're
It's
mad.
over now, man.
We
It's
get
over.
it.
You know, y'all made it to some Super Bowls, Mahomes, off of bad calls. That's the Bengals for a couple of years here. So it's like,
won some Super Bowls off of bad calls,
here.
maybe.
You know, now it's good. Like I said, it's good. Like I said, that he was sticking up for his guy on the sideline, but you do got to let that go. And one of the points you made, Austin, is why are you even in this situation when you can't score 20 points? And that's what I said on the countdown, that they're not going to score 20. They needed a trick play. Side note, rest in peace of Frank Wycheck, the Tennessee Titan, the Music City Miracle. He the one that threw it to Kevin Dyson. He passed away yesterday, which is just weird coincidence. They did the Music City Miracle the day that he passed away. That's crazy circumstance how that worked. And Kadarius Toney caught it because he had a little extra step, and he caught it and he scored. But it's like, you needed that. That's what you needed to win.
That's what I'm saying.
The Chiefs defense was going to, I knew Josh Allen was going to get 30 on them, so they held him to 20. Chiefs got great defense. I knew the offense wasn't going to score enough. And it sucks. It sucks that, Kadarius Toney didn't line up and look at the ref like he's supposed to do. That sucks. That's why you lost the game, right? And rules are rules, bro.
Facts. And it's a game of inches. And if you have an inch, like, that might be the reason why you got the play to begin with, why you were able to make the catch. And I hate it. I hate to see that, man. It's just like the end. I could take everything, right? I've seen him complain all the time. And I've seen some, quote unquote, if people wanted to call them tantrums probably back in the day, of, Tom Brady throwing a helmet, of Tom Brady, throwing a tablet, whatever. I'd rather see that than see what I saw on the field from Patrick Mahomes.
What did Jason Tom never went over? No, tell you.
He did.
Psycho Tom. That's the Psycho Tom. He was going at refs, coaches.
But listen, it was never that bad. We can't compare that to that was not apples to apples, dude. He's never gone after a ref, had the whole team.
He never had to be restrained.
He never do that. Never do that.
No,
shit.
But Tom, he'll be there, giving it to them.
Oh, facts.
And
but
that's
then it's
coaches.
over.
He will go in, he'll get it out, he'll throw something. And like with Mahomes, his best thing, he probably should have grabbed something and just threw it and just get it out of his system, bro.
Yeah, facts.
Because don't carry this when you're walking over to, again, sportsmanship. This is sportsmanship here. And I know it sucks, but I think it's more frustration because they couldn't generate points, man. That's been a problem all season. And you luck out. No, they was lucky to even get that playoff, to have a chance to win. And if that's what you need to win, that shows you're not a championship team. This iteration of the Chiefs, this is not a championship team, folks. Right now they're only a game ahead of the Denver Broncos. The Chiefs are 8-5. Broncos are 7-6. They split the season record, so it'll go off other tiebreakers if they end up tied. I'm just saying, bro, this is a weird spot for Mahomes. I know it doesn't look normal. But this is not a championship team, man. The Chiefs, if I can't count on you getting 20 points, you're not winning the championship.
That's fair, man. That's fair. I mean, they had similar numbers too. Patrick Mahomes even had better numbers than Josh Allen did. But I think you could see kind of the rushing attack maybe gave the Bills the edge. But again, like, this isn't winning you the game right now. Having 25 and 43, like, that's not good. That's not good for Josh Allen either. It wasn't a great game for Josh Allen, but he was able to do enough for you. Mm-hmm. And James Cook was the leading wide receiver as well for the Bills, which is hilarious. That's not going to win many games, but against a struggling Chiefs team, I mean, that's going to win you the game. And again, like, they should have never been put in that position. If you think you're a championship team like you are, that's not how championship players react to situations like that when they lose a game because they made a mistake. That's what I hate about that. And I'm mad because of all of the shit. And I'm giving this back because this is like karma, right? I had to listen to so much BS talked about Tom Brady when it was like an overblown. I don't think anybody reacting negatively about this for Patrick Mahomes is overblown. You're the $500 million man. You're propped up to be the face of the league. You're on every commercial everywhere. You're golden boy. You are the face of the league. It is what it is, right? Like that's what happens. And as the face of the league, you show the most egregious, disrespectful sportsmanship that you could possibly show at the end of a game. I'd rather see you walk off the field and not shake their hand and have Josh Allen just be like, oh, where is he? That's what I'd rather have that. And people talk about you not doing it rather than you complaining to your opponent. Like, I'm never going to get over that, dude. That was just such a disrespectful thing. I don't care how mad you are about whatever. Like, give them their respect. They won the game. And Tom, whatever he would do, he would still do that at a post-game presser. Oh, give them the credit. They won the game. Not at the post-game presser bitching about the refs still and saying, oh, they shouldn't have called that. I know he was offsides, but they still shouldn't have called it. That's the most like bitch thing I've ever heard. Are you a professional? Then be a pro, dude. Don't act like a baby the whole time and take your loss. Just take it, man.
At the end of the day, Austin, he was offsides. It's like
right.
He can throw tantrums and stuff all he wants. The flag was correct. Like you're mad that the ref, hey, he did his job.
Right.
He's like, hey, and who knows if he tried to warn Kadarius Toney before? Who knows? I mean, we just kind of take their word for it. We didn't get no warning. You shouldn't need a warning. The receiver should know to line up and look at the ref.
Yeah.
So that's I hate to say. I mean, I'm not trying to get on coach, but I mean that is coaching.
That's a little bit of coaching.
that is coaching right there.
A little bit of coaching.
And I'll put that more on the receiving coach, whoever the receiving guy. I'm not gonna blame Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Whoever he has over his receiving coach or offensive coordinator, or whatever. Y'all haven't been coaching your receiving core at all this year. So I'm not surprised this is how you lost, right? So that sucks. But like I said, the Chiefs, they still make the playoffs. You still don't want to see Mahomes in the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, let's keep that real right there. But I don't see them springing off 2-3 wins on the road, getting to the Super Bowl. I don't see that happening, but because they don't have enough offense. If people want to, Mahomes, I don't know if he can't just make these guys better. I don't know what's going on right there, right? The defense is great. This also shows me the Bills are not really a playoff team either, though.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you lost. That's what makes this loss worse. You didn't lose to a team that's just like riding sky high. The Bills are not that good this year. Right? They may miss the playoffs still. So even a worse loss for the Chiefs is that this is a game you probably really should have won because the team you were facing ain't doing nothing either. So bad all around.
How crazy would this be if the Chiefs get overtaken by the Broncos? Sean Payton, coach of the year, dude. It's happening. It's happening for
the Chiefs,
sure.
They still have a game against. They got some. Let's see, a game against the Bengals. They got a game against the Bengals still. That's going to mean something. They got a division game with the Raiders, so we'll see. I mean, I'm just saying, like this isn't like just cut and dry.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they'd make the playoffs, but the Broncos could technically catch them.
They could catch them, and who knows if the Broncos, get a home playoff spot, man. The Chiefs didn't do well there. The Chiefs didn't do well there.
Sean Payton would definitely be coach of the year. If the Broncos catch the Chiefs,
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, bro. But what a game, what a reaction, obviously. And I just want to get my point out about that. Like, if you're the face of the league, because so much shit was talked about Tom Brady for so many years, he never did that, dude. He never disrespected his opponent like that. He might disrespect them on the field while they're playing. He might, say some shit to him then. But after the game's over, as a quarterback, that's the first thing, is a quarterback mentality. You got to be able to forget. You got to be able to let those things go. And if you're still holding on to it, even at the post-game presser, dude, like it just looks so bad for you. It looks bad for the Chiefs. It looks bad for your team. It looks bad for all your PR. It looks bad for the league because you're the face of the league. And that's what I hate about that. Like, so there's so many veteran players. There's so many people that put this game into the spot where it's the best league in the entire world. It makes the most money, has the most viewership. It's the best. And Patrick Mahomes is profiting $500 million richer off of the hard work that so many men and women put in to get him there. And then you're going to act like that. Obviously, he's not keeping that into account. But if you're the face of the league, you have to think about those things. You have to be aware of your image, man. And I just hate how that makes the entire league look. And I hate how that it gives way to the younger generation thinking that's okay to do. And that's why I'm like, yeah, Tom Brady never had a temper tantrum like this. He might have thrown some shit on the sideline. He might have yelled at, Josh McDaniels or offensive coordinator, but you didn't see that for the whole game, or you didn't see that carry on and for into the press conference. Like, that to me is so unprofessional, so childlike, and we've propped Patrick Mahomes up into this position to allow him to do that and think it's okay to do. That's what I'm disappointed in. And I hope that Patrick Mahomes can come out and apologize for being such a bitch. But if he doesn't, I'm just gonna call him that.
But Mahomes just give him a better receiver, y'all. That's all. He's frustrated, man. Mahomes is frustrated. Get him some receivers, And when I don't mean like it had to be all elite. No, he could have used Juju Smith-Schuster the way he's looking with the Patriots right now. Like, get him some competent receivers, bro. This is ridiculous. It's affecting his mentals at this point. Like, serious, real talk. It's affecting him. I really believe that.
You can see it, dude. You can see it. He's having some issues, bro. Kermit's turning into a hermit, dude. He's gonna go crazy. But yeah, I don't feel bad. He's human. They're having a bad season, and he lost. Stop it, bro.
Could you say you won't apologize? He is not going to apologize.
Nah, dude. It's fair. He cares, right? I swear to you, Money Train James, I watched Tom Brady for 23 years. He never, ever acted like this. This is a bitch baby moment. And we literally propped Patrick Mahomes up to do this. But guess what? Patrick Mahomes is never going to be Tom Brady. And that's just the fact of the matter. You know what I'm saying? He's never going to be as good. And Patrick Mahomes is going to smear his name if he keeps acting like this, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's why I said let's get him some competent receiver. I mean, this year, you can't do nothing about this season. I mean, he's gonna go down, slinging it. But next year, just give him some competent receivers. Maybe one or two of these receivers will grow up. Exile Kadarius Toney, all out of the state. Because like as crazy as it is. Yeah, he's still a top 3 receiver on that team because all these other guys are just too young. They don't know the routes. They don't got hands. Yeah, so it really sucks. And that's on the GM letting. I keep bringing up Juju because that's your standard right there. He can run the routes. He has hands. He still was has some juice with the Patriots this past week. So
let him walk.
You wish you would have Juju right now, right? You know what I'm saying? So
I know, dude.
Yeah, that's right. They won a Super Bowl with him. You know what I mean? So
somebody wants a refund. That's all I'm saying. Somebody wants a refund.
But I will say though, I think the Chiefs are next game against the Patriots, so that'll be a nice way to get some, work off some steam,
bro.
And destroy the Patriots, right?
If Bailey Zappi, oh man, I can't wait till Sunday. I can't wait till Sunday. Oh my god.
Oh man, that was such a fun stream earlier.
That was hilarious. I was listening to that. I was listening while I was out and about.
Man had a villain arc. Like, he was like, "Hey guys, how's it going?" All of a sudden, he's like, "Fuck you!" I'm like, "What?" I'm like, bro, like what? Why so serious?
You some questions, bro. Just asking you some questions, bro. Jesus.
He's like, "Fuck you!" I'm like, bro, like, what are you? We're just cool. Like, we're just.
What happened? Yeah, exactly. I was listening to you, bro. I was like, bro, I gotta pull his chat up and freaking ban this guy. What's going on right now? But yeah,
I meant to shout out the mods on that one too, and some of y'all are here. But I am glad that y'all, didn't ban him too quick. I don't know if he ended up getting banned. Because those are good moments for me when you see nonsense in the chat. You know what I mean? It's just like, I'm having fun with that. I stopped for like 20 minutes, just going back and forth. I'm like, oh, Yes, let me fill some time here.
Bro, I was listening to like, what? Who is this Joker? Like, straight up, who is this Joker? Bro, I'm not deleting this. Shout out to Mr. J for giving this to me, bro. He sent this in the chat. Mr. J, dude.
Oh, he made that? Mr.
Yeah,
J made
Mr.
that?
J, dude. Shout out Mr. J, dog.
Oh,
my fiance saw that. She saw this. She saw the same type of thing of that on her timeline. She's like, I don't know what happened to Patrick Mahomes. I'm like, yeah, man. You need to speak to someone's manager, bro. You gotta ask.
I mean, I will say, though, I think he went extreme on Mahomes, but I would say the whole face of the league thing, that is a real thing. And it's
it's real.
You know, he do have to be careful. Like, you can't have these tantrums like every other week. You know what I mean? Like, I understand, you know, why he kind of went off. Though, again, he did a little bit too much after the game. But I'm just talking about during the game.
During the game's
to
fine.
have that tantrum, I'm like, I get it, bro. I know you just frustrated. All you got to see this guy's face.
Yeah,
there's Tony. Like, it's like, I get it. You're upset, but then just to take it, you know, oh, Josh Allen, hey, this is a terrible call. It's like, okay, bro, it's over, Mahomes. Okay, it's over.
Dude,
so let's not make this a habit.
That's where it gets bad. And then he goes to the presser, doubles down.
Yeah. Oh. Chiefs GMs, like, take care of your boy. Now this is the money man. Give him some receivers, man. Don't put him through this.
That's the manager he wants to talk to, the GM, dude.
Austin's on his villain arc right now, bro.
Blame the GM. Right? I need to speak to the general manager now.
He had a full villain arcs like in streams. Like, that's crazy. Like, it's progression.
Hey, man, y'all want to talk about having no receivers? Y'all didn't know who fucking Julian Edelman was until Tom Brady made him somebody. You didn't know who Deion Branch was until Tom Brady made him somebody. There's a lot of wide receivers that Tom Brady made into people, and I don't see that happening for Patrick Mahomes. I'm just saying, dude.
Wait, did Deion Branch win Super Bowl MVP?
Yeah, but Tom Brady made him that.
So what's one of the wide receivers on the cheating? We can't count.
But guess what? But here's the thing, though. Deion Branch, these other receivers go to other teams with other quarterbacks and they don't play as well. So
I get you that Deion Branch did get a better contract, I think, with the Seahawks, and
he came back.
Wasn't the same anymore. But some of that's coaching as well. Who was the offensive coordinator back then for the Patriots? That's the guy that went to the
No, it was actually Bill
Irish, right?
I think it was Bill.
Oh, it was O'Brien before him?
I think it was Bill O'Brien, and then the guy that went to the Irish. Who was that guy?
Yeah,
Jeez.
I forget his big guy. I forget his name.
Yeah, big guy.
I was in South Bend during that time.
Okay, so you've seen him. You know that guy is. What's his name?
Weiss? Was it Weiss?
Is it Weiss?
Yeah,
Charlie Weiss?
Yeah. Charlie Weiss, yeah. So he had, they had great offensive scheme. Yep. I'm just saying, all I'm saying is that early in Brady's career, he wasn't making receivers better. He was playing assist. He was like a Brock Purdy. All right. If we can agree on that. Brady early on. Yep, Charlie Weiss.
Man. Look at this man.
He was
a unit, dude. Look at that.
Brady was more of a Brock Purdy. I don't think he made Deion Branch. Like, the system kind of got Branch that Super Bowl MVP.
Man, this system bullshit still, huh? He went to the Bucks. He went to the Bucks. It was system, bro. Tom Brady.
You're saying Brady? Wait a minute. You're saying Brady was making receivers better his first 5 years?
Yes, I am, dude. Who was he throwing to? He had nobody on his team, dog.
I'd heard it all, bro.
Who is he throwing to? I'll go through the stats right now. It's been 20 years since I've had to do this. I'll go through the stats and we'll have a discussion about it. Yes, Tom Brady made his receivers better until about 2019 when he was 40 fucking years old, basically, and he couldn't.
I get from like you mentioned, Edelman. Who's before? He had. Let's see.
Danny Woodhead.
Welker first. He had Welker first before.
Oh yes.
Edelman, right?
Yes.
So from like the Welker, like this is like right before Moss, right before Brady. I thought was making people better. Those first couple Super Bowls, bro. No, Brady was
didn't
not
have anybody, bro. Like Andre Gibbons,
Super Bowl MVP. Gibbons was a solid veteran.
Tom Brady had the Super Bowl MVPs, dude. It wasn't anybody on his team. But I was like Edelman, Danny Woodhead, all this. I mean, I have to go back through it. Ben Watson, tight end.
That's more towards. I'm talking about when they beat you beat the Eagles one of those years against the Rams. Those early Super Bowl against the Panthers
I'm gonna have to go back.
Three.
I'm gonna have to go
Yeah,
back.
I'm just saying he was not making receivers, but like you got me after that. Yes, that's when he became.
I'm telling you, he did. There's a reason why he gave John Madden. There's a reason why he gave John Madden goosebumps in the fourth quarter because he kept making the throws, dude.
We'll pull up those rosters. That'd be a good segment in the future, right there. Yeah, we gotta get to the bottom of that.
I've had these conversations for so many years, but it's been too long. I've forgotten those wide receivers' names. But yeah, those people that you don't. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, Money Train. See, that's just stupid. That's just stupid. That's just stupid. I didn't say that.
Look at Skii.
I never said that. I never said that.
I got hit up Skii because we got to do some LeBron talk. We gotta get some more blasphemous talk.
Yeah, it's not the system. It's not the system. If you can win 7 Super Bowls, go to a whole new franchise and win there the first year, bro. It's not the system. It's the QB, bro. The QB doesn't always get the MVP either. When you get
Deion Branch got that one.
Deion Branch, Julian Edelman, and guess who's throwing him the ball? Tom Brady. But anyways, that's just my point. That's just my point, guys. I can have this talk all day, all night.
Pull up these rosters. We go. That's gonna be a nice segment. And I'm gonna snip for the.
We gotta save it for the off season. We got content for the off season. We gotta save that for the off season.
That's a good idea.
But yo, obviously another successful show with the homies. Thank you everyone for being here in the chat.
Awesome.
You got the promo, anything? We got power rankings coming tomorrow. Anything else coming up?
Yeah, it's all about tomorrow, man. Tuesday is probably our favorite show to do, man. It's power rankings. I may still surprise y'all. I'm already thinking I gotta go watch it. We got 2 games on tonight, so it's gonna be fun to catch up on these games. But yeah, Tuesday power rankings, bottom 5. It's a shakeup all across the board with everything, man. So that's gonna be fun. The geek stuff is going nuts. Who's making fun of James Gunn all week? And, waiting for more Netflix stuff. This is Rebel Moon month, so the geek stuff's gonna be going strong, man. So looking forward to that. We said LeBron's talk ain't blasphemy. Oh yeah. we gonna trigger someone no matter where we go. Like one of these segments gonna trigger somebody, bro. But yeah, power rankings. Yeah, looking forward to the Tuesday show. And like I said, I'm ready to go watch these games now.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. I didn't even look at the scores. We've been having way too much fun. But yeah, power rankings, we're going to shift some things. I already know who I'm Sparta kicking. Can't wait for that. Can't wait for that.
My list. Soon be done. I'm going to start looking at my list.
Everybody, have a good night. Enjoy the doubleheader that's on right now, ESPN and ABC. And we'll see y'all back here tomorrow for power rankings. Till next time. Peace.